Hello, hello everybody! Sorry, I am a little bit, rushing to get started this stream. I was a little bit ill-prepared. My apologies. I'm usually very punctual. Very punctual on these streams. Now, I'm 2 minutes late. Unbelievable, unacceptable, don't like. I might have somebody joining us later. I don't know for sure, but we'll see, you know? I'll send him the link anyways if he wants to join. Oh man, and I just realized I don't have any headphones, so if he does join, it's gonna be Echo City. But yeah, how is everybody doing this wonderful, fantastic Friday? Hey everybody! Oh man. Let's hope the internet doesn't die during this stream. Oh, God, yeah. Well, the internet is always dying during my streams nowadays, or at least that's what it feels like. So, the reason why I am slightly rushing, just slightly, to do this stream is because I was doing another kind of artsy craftsy hour. You know, I've kind of been getting into the idea of us making our own merchandise for the comics, of course. Obviously, we did some really cool stuff during our last campaigns. Horizon Quest, we had the Vera helmet and standee. Oh, that was so cool. Obviously, we do the posters, of course. Well, not all of these posters are our posters, but the ones that are. Yeah, that one, that one, that one, this one on the side. Oh, and the original art of Hazel up there. Ding ding. That one. Yes. So, and then we had the Reaper campaign. We did the Ichabod busts over here. And we also did the Sid Hearth. These were 3D printed statues, but they look pretty cool. I think so anyways. Very delicate, very difficult to 3D print. I hope you appreciate them. That was very tricky trying to get that to work. So what I'm working on now is something with resin, without revealing too much, because I don't want to spoil for any of you. Some people like to be a little bit surprised when the next campaign comes around and we have something extra special, you know? But yes, so I have something cooking with resin. It's our first time using resin, so we already like messed up a couple, but you know, we're just doing the test rounds right now. And as resin dries, it obviously gets harder. So right now I'm trying to do some sort of floating effect within the resin. What I'm worried about as I'm starting the stream is because I added the thing that's supposed to be floating in the resin, it was kind of slowly dooping down, very, very slowly, to the point where your human eye cannot recognize it. But I'm worried that as I have left it, it is now all the way at the bottom and my floating effect has been botched. But I had to do it now. I was thinking, you know, maybe I should wait for the resin to dry a little bit more before I try to do it. But I had to do the stream, so I was pressured to do it now, because if I wait too long, it'll be too hard. It's all this juggling that you gotta do, especially when you're doing time-sensitive crafts. Oh boy, those can be stressful. And resin, you know, it's poison, so I'm actually pretty surprised that Adam was a little bit more warmed up to the idea of doing something with resin, because for a long time he's been extremely cautious and skeptical of it. Because it's poison, yes. You know, you can't touch it, you shouldn't breathe it in, and you most certainly should not eat it. I can't imagine that you should sand it and then breathe in those particles either. It can't get in your eyes, you know, so it's just this substance that if you're not careful enough, it'll not do very good things, you know? Poison. Yeah, right. I'm calling it, it's a keychain. I don't know. Hey, that's a close guess. Not quite, but that's close. Well, good on you for trying something new. Awesome news about the new merch. Hope that works out. I hope it works out too, you know? If I did mess up this batch, then I can always start another one, of course. And we'll get it right next time when I don't have to be at a certain time and place for a stream. But hopefully everybody's been having a good week. Let me see. What news do I have to go through with you today? We'll go through, I don't really think that much has really happened this week. It's kind of the same old grind, isn't it? Or at least not that much has happened that I know about. Let me see. The Dan anime. Episode 1 came out, right? I still have to watch that. But I did prepare a Dan manga review. And I should get to that really soon. Because if you don't capitalize on people talking about an anime, then nobody's gonna ever see your video ever. It's so funny, you know, I did the Delicious in Dungeon manga review so long ago, or at least it feels like it was really long ago. And then if the anime came out, everyone was talking about it, everyone was reviewing the manga, but my old video reviewing the manga, not good enough. So, it's almost like I should only ever review manga when the anime comes out, and then just never any other time. But I guess that is kind of how YouTube works. It's funny, you, like PewDiePie and Ken, they were making some video about, like, how to make it on YouTube. And kind of giving their take on other YouTubers' advice, whether or not it was completely valid or half true or stuff like that. That was a super interesting video. Although it did bum me out just a little bit. Because one of the things that they mentioned, I feel like hit me like at the bullseye. A bullseye on my channel, right? They said that a lot of YouTubers don't make it because they don't capitalize on when they're starting to get a little bit of success, right? And they also mentioned that there's kind of an easy way of like manipulating the numbers and you know, getting successful at YouTube, which I already kind of knew based on my own experiences, you know. If I had stuck to doing news type stuff about like the media and I mean like not news media, I mean like media as in TV shows and movies and comics and that stuff. If I had kept up with doing I guess more controversial topic type stuff and constantly posting video about topical stuff, I could have rapid fired success very early on, and instead I kind of shied away from doing that. Multiple reasons why. I don't know if that anyone cares to hear about that, but the main reason is just that I don't like the idea of being a controversy channel, you know? I don't like constantly talking about negative stuff, although people seem to think that I'm a negative person. I'm a critical person. I don't think I'm a negative person. I mean, I've done reviews of things that I like, and I still like point out critiques that I have on the thing, even though I like it. I'm a giant Frieren fan, but I still like mention some critiques I have for Freerin, of course. I think it's kind of healthy to view things you like in the sense that you know it'll never be perfect, and that's okay, because it kind of doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be for you to enjoy it, you know? I think that's a more healthy way to view it. I don't know. Maybe for some people, they're too pessimistic to the point where if something is not perfect, it ruins it for them forever. But I just kind of accept that nothing is going to be completely perfect, you know? Only big thing for me is my job having its annual picnic again for the first time since the COVID lockdowns. That sounds kind of nice, actually. I could go for, like, some picnic thing. We do have a kind of local fair planned for the weekend at a library. We are excited for that. I mean, like, it's good to do as many local fairs as you kind of can. I think we do much better during around these local type of fairs than we do at the big conventions. We make about the same amount of money, but they just cost less. And that makes all the difference in the world. We also sell a lot of 3D printed stuff, too. And we've sold 3D printed stuff at the conventions, too. We just don't like it to be the main thing on the table, because then it just distracts people from the comic books, from the book books and everything, you know? Yeah, okay. Maybe do reaction videos. I've been considering some reaction stuff. There are, like, some topics that I've been considering covering here on the channel that maybe stray away slightly from the usual type of content. And once again, you know, it kind of dives into the area of, like, is this too controversial? Is this going to attract the wrong crowd to my channel? Is this going to make me seem like a worse person for making a video about this? But I don't know for sure, honestly. Part of me feels like maybe I should ask, maybe I should have someone that I just go to for advice, and then I just have them decide my fate for me. That is a possibility. You ain't no negative Nancy, thanks. Yeah, heaven forbid you give nuanced reviews. At least you are not a doomer channel. I try not to be. I do. I blame toxic positivity for people, not liking negative channels, or... Hey.
I didn't know if you had room for one more. One needs water.
I brought up a bottle, but if you wanted to pull up a chair, you certainly could.
Sure.
Yeah, you're gonna be judged no matter what. Absolutely, that's true. I just don't know how much I want to be judged. Ooh, all right. Adam joins for the Friday stream. Ooh. You have any news to share, Adam? Fun things?
I don't think so.
I was mentioning before we were doing another local fair this weekend. Woo!
Oh, yeah. Hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, should I show off the new fidget that you found?
Oh, if you want, yeah. That's actually not a bad idea. I think they'd
Yeah.
find that to be pretty amusing.
Everybody sent me this thing. Like my cousin's husband sent me it. And he was like, "Oh, you gotta make this," and I was like, "Yeah, I don't know." And I looked and I couldn't find, the only model I could find was some guy who was like, "You can sell it for $7 a month." And it's like,
Yeah, right.
just the one model.
So it's like a drill fidget. The only bad thing about it is that it falls through so fast it'll just hit the floor before you catch it. But if you need a drill to pierce the heavens, we have a fidget for that now. Part of me wants to figure out a way to like put it on a necklace or something and fidget with it on there, but like I said, it just falls apart when you leave it up to gravity. So I don't know. Maybe if you like strapped a string on both ends, you'll see it when he goes to get it. Until then, maybe I should show you guys burningstarcomics.net. Yes, Searchers still available for pre-order. Sonic City Witch is also still available for pre-order. I just sent an order out for Searchers to be printed, so I'll have some printed copies of that soon. Sonic City Witch itself has just 4 more pages left. Artist is working hard, and here's Adam to show you the fidget.
So, this is the thing. You've probably seen it before, but it's like something like that.
Yeah, well, it falls either side.
Yeah, so it'll just like.
There it is.
Yeah, it's just like.
So I imagine a lot of kids would be dropping this.
Oh yeah. Gonna be dropping it, breaking it.
Yeah. But it is very cool.
With 2 colors, you can kind of see it a little bit better.
It's your drill to pierce the heavens.
Yeah, any Gurren Lagann fans?
Yeah. And it also works like backwards, right, too?
Oh yeah, you can drop it through.
Yeah, isn't that neat?
This looks like the Dead Space, the monument.
Oh.
It makes everybody crazy. Yeah.
So that's gonna make us a ton of money.
Hopefully. Although it's like you have to take away the cost of all the ones that are gonna break.
Yeah, well, we'll see if we can get kids to be careful with the things that they pick up.
Yeah, I've got one about to finish, and then I'll just keep on printing more until tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or the day after.
Definitely, for sure. And it looks like everybody likes the fidget. Good stuff.
Yeah, that is the new fad. It was fidget cubes. Now it's this thing. So
I've also seen a version of this where it's a like circle instead of a drill. Those look pretty cool too.
Yeah, I could imagine that. The guy who made it didn't care if you sold it. He was like, "Oh, if it sells well, throw me a tip." It's like, sure, man. Absolutely.
Absolutely, bud. All right. And Adam, is there any anime you're looking forward to?
Well, I don't know. I liked Classroom of the Elite Season 1. So I might watch Season 2.
Nice.
That's
fair, yeah.
But it's they're on like 3 now or something.
Yeah, a little bit behind.
You were pretty sure it wasn't going to get continued, but I don't know. The directing is really good. It's kind of like Grimgar, where like maybe the script or like the core stuff isn't like super revolutionary, but I felt like the way that they depicted everything was really good. So I don't know. Like everything felt like it had like a lot of like weight and impact. It's hard to describe because it's not exactly the voice acting or the animation. It's like just kind of how they get it all to come together.
Yeah. It's its own kind of talent is directing. And make everything work, make everyone work well together.
Yeah.
So that you don't have contradicting visions clashing with one another, then creating an ultimate mess. Because that can happen.
It makes sense that it was a light novel. Because some of the ideas are like they have to survive on an island, and then they have the one like blonde guy that's like super master race. He's just like, I don't need anyone, and then he like leaps into the jungle and starts swinging from trees. And it's like, is that like real? Like did that just happen, or is that like someone imagining it happened? But apparently that's just like what happens in that arc is he vanishes for that arc, and then like when they're done with the wilderness survival, he just reappears and he's like, ha ha.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's like, that's such a, like, if you were drawing that as a picture, eventually you'd be like, wait, is this a stupid idea? Wait a second.
Yeah, try to make it make more sense. There's definitely a much different approach to how Japan is handling these light novels.
Yeah, like, I don't know. There's some like there's some like adaptations that like the manga will do like one page much better, and then the next page, the next like few, like the anime and the manga will go alternate what they do better and worse. Like they'll just, some amalgamation of both would be what you'd want to do, and they just take turns like messing stuff up.
Yeah,
or perfecting
I
stuff.
have noticed like some light novels, they like either like the manga does it better or the manga does it worse and the anime does it better. The manga does it the best and then everything else is just trash.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird when you take the same story and you pass it off to different people to like direct it in different ways.
Yeah, like Grimgar, when I was reading the light novel, it was like real bad, you know. And then I was like, well, because I thought the manga was the original, and so I read it and I'm like, man, they kind of, this part isn't as good and whatever. And then I go to the light novel because I'm like, surely the original source material is genius because the show is so good. And then
Right.
I just opened it to like a random page and I'm like, oh no, this is terrible. The intro is a little bit more interesting. Like the first like page was a little more interesting than I saw in the show or the manga, but it was like really I don't know, like when they're trying to describe like physical humor, it like just didn't work. They're like trying to
Yeah, and even the light novels are like kind of weird because you're taking someone writing it in Japanese in a Japanese literature style, and then some other like English writer who usually has only written YA, they then have to put their own style to the story.
I would bet it's easier to translate though, because I think even in Japanese it's like super basic, like the story details are super basic.
From what I heard about how they do the light novel translation is they do a direct translation first and then they have a writer rewrite everything based on the direct translation.
That's apparently what like Funimation did, was they had like some machine translating service before Google did Google Translate.
Now they're all basically using AI.
Yeah, I mean they were always using like
Some
robots.
form of it.
Yeah. So they machine translated, then they had some guy that had like an English degree, and I don't think he had any, I think he was the sort of guy who would get an English degree. And then he just like went through it and like fixed it.
Sure.
But yeah, that's why like every Funimation dub has like the same like weird like ticks to their like dialogue. They'll always kind of go for the same word choices because it's like one guy who's writing everybody's dialogue. So
Yeah, right. But yeah, I think like The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten is like an example of like light novel, okay. It's probably the only light novel series I've actually read all of. And then the manga is bad, surprisingly bad. It goes a very different direction with the main character. And then like the anime is like peak, where it really hits its stride.
yeah, sometimes when someone I was thinking about like Garden of Words, how like the final monologue is like really really good. Like it's the only part of the movie I really like.
Yeah, right.
Like you could essentially get a better experience out of the movie if you just like
Just watch the final monologue and nothing
well
else.
like yes but also like I think if you just find one of those like sound, like OST soundtrack, like the moving wallpaper where it just has the park with the water. You could just watch that and listen to the soundtrack of it and be like, wow, this is so deep. And then you do that for 30 minutes. And then the last 10 minutes of the movie, you watch. The
monologue.
Yeah, you watch the monologue at the end, and then you're like, whoa! And then the problem with that is, even after like you've been told the whole rest of the movie is like not good, you're going to be like, oh man, I bet the rest of the movie is good. And you're going to go back, and then the last thing you experience is you're going to rewatch the first part of the movie, and you're like, oh shit. This guy really likes feet.
What if they actually like started that new genre of movie where it's just like the animation, no talking, a nice soundtrack, and then at the end they just have an unhinged monologue about something deep.
The ultimate degeneration of like writing ability.
Nah, dude, it's an art film.
It's just like, you're so bad at writing, you just don't write anything except for the one like random bit of the story that you're really passionate about, that you really want to get to. You're just like,
hey, I'm sure someone would be into it. Probably the Ava fans.
Go on, say it. Little boy should run along to school. Just like everything else is just completely mute, and then you just, yeah.
Yeah, a better experience. It's so deep.
I would rate that final monologue like a 9 or 10 out of 10, like a super high marks. But it's
so funny too because the sound mixing is also
terrible.
Yeah,
the sound mixing
you
is
have to really lean in to hear it.
You need like some like CIA listening device like technology to like figure out like.
You need the subtitles on in English. Oh man.
They don't even know what they were saying. Like she's crying at some point and the music is like booming and the rain is coming down. I can't really be sure what she said because she's like sob talking, but it's that, and this is only in the English dub. But in Japanese it's something different. Like it's just different writing completely. Like I managed to track down who wrote the final monologue. And I was like, all right, now I'm going to buy this guy's book. You know, I just assumed he, like, writes stuff. He just doesn't. Like, he doesn't do anything. He has his own website that he has, like, a blog on. But that's it. There's no... After all that, like, this journey to figure out what random Japanese guy did this.
Yeah, you did the same to figure out, like, who was behind the directing behind Grimgar.
Yeah, and I think it... yeah, and I don't know. I think they had worked on something else. I don't even remember now, but it was pointless. At the end of the journey, it was just like, yeah, okay, so that was the guy that worked on it. He did a good job.
Yeah, maybe in the future, I don't know, but yeah, it is kind of a shame when like you can appreciate when someone does a good job. You try to find a method of kind of rewarding them or just showing that you're appreciative of them, and then there's just nothing at the end of the road because they either don't get more work or don't get credited for work or you know.
But like Grimgar I feel like was the best intro to like a low level party. It was the most interesting depiction of a low level party.
I would agree with you there.
I think
it was pretty good.
I think if you could just whatever combination of talent got the first couple episodes together, you could have taken those people and then put a really good... Like, I think the rest of the season was fine. It's not something that's, like, super, super amazing. I wouldn't, like, die on that hill that's amazing. But, the beginning was so good. If you had paired that with, like, some other... Like, if you had done a better job, like, bringing the story forward. There
were really some interesting parts about Grimgar that the anime specifically does that make it uniquely interesting. Like, like the whole idea that they're from another world, or they're from our world but don't remember it, and they show you this in very subtle ways by, like, comments about the moon, and then, like, this guy is, like, sculpting wood and he sculpts an airplane. And then you don't know. Is that? Yeah, they don't know what it is, but for, just his subconscious remembers, like, airplanes,
And like they'll use an expression. They'll be like, "It's not like we can call them," And it's
Yeah.
like, what do you mean call them? It's like, I don't know.
You're right,
Like,
right.
It'll just be these like, and then it like the lore is when they randomly think of it, that's when it leaves their head permanently. So they only ever reference the thing once, allegedly. I don't know. If you kept on reading the light novel, I'm sure they messed that up. But no, if you haven't seen the series, essentially it's a super low level adventuring party that is like going bankrupt. Like they're like super poor, and they just can't manage to make a single like coin.
Yeah.
And they're trying their hardest to corner a single goblin and kill them, and the goblin always like gets away or like it fights them off. And like the way they have it be like super super gritty, where they're trying to kill the little just the weakest creature they can find, was super super interesting.
Yeah, the fight scene with the one goblin was
Yeah.
super good.
By like
Because you can kind of understand how they're messing up so badly. And it's not something that you would normally see in any anime, especially like these types of isekai things. Normally they're just like, they go into another world and they're perfect or whatever. But this goes for a very different direction.
Yeah, and they managed to make it like really feel like they're fighting something dangerous. Like it feels like it's gonna bite them.
Yes,
You know,
it feels
you
like
can-
it'll mess them up.
You can imagine being in their shoes and be like, oh, I don't want to get close to its mouth, right? Like they did a really good job at like showing them being super poor and then showing them like really really struggling on this one thing. Then they eventually get it. And
Yeah, and it doesn't kill right away. It doesn't die right away either. They had to like
Yeah.
keep on like. So yeah, that's like one of those scenes from Grimgar that I remember being like super good, super 10 out of 10. The series as a whole I don't really like, but like I have trouble with some of the characters, I guess. Obviously Ranta is super fucking annoying.
Yeah, I thought his like they had the. Yeah, I mean he has red spiky hair. So if you haven't seen the anime, you can kind of like just guess his
You can
personality.
guess his person. Yeah.
But
He goes for like what his dark class is, like Dark Knight or something.
yeah. So he takes the super like
bitch.
the super obscure like Shadow the Hedgehog class, which is really funny. But then
It
they
really
don't.
fix his character.
Yeah,
I'll
but-
say that much.
Then they don't really do anything that interesting with it. He just has some like schizophrenic like puppet thing that talks to him, and it doesn't really do anything like that interesting. It strikes me like just knowing like RPGs. It strikes me as one of those classes that's really bad at a low level, and then like later it's very strong. So like to see the payoff, you have to read like 30 books or something. But,
Yeah, that's a whole lot of reading. Worth a redo, maybe. Yeah, you know, honestly, I think whoever was like in charge of the directing, and I don't know, maybe one of the writers or whoever was in charge of the good portions of the writing, they should just do their own fantasy anime. Like they should
Yeah,
just recreate a team and just do their own thing. Grimgar is like fine, but the talent existed somewhere else.
yeah, the humor
I
is
don't
not.
think that it existed in the source material.
Yeah, the humor is not lost on me that one of my favorite animes has the worst writing, like the worst core writing like, from the source material.
I've never read the light novel, but
It might just be that I can't handle light novels. Is just like
yeah, right. I'm not sure because they are written to be like read by a much lower, simpler
It
type of reading level.
it reads like I'm reading my own notes or something like that.
It's no Lord of the Rings.
Like I would have a panic attack if I accidentally wrote a page like a light novel and then like just publish it in a book. I would
You were thinking of doing light novels in the future, right?
not like that. No.
Yeah, of
No.
course. You would want to do it in your regular style.
Yeah, but what I was thinking of doing is like pairing pictures, so like each chapter have like a nice picture to kind of supplement rather than a comic or just a straight book with just a cover. I thought that would be kind of nice, especially because you could take the different chapter things and turn them into like posters or cards or something like that.
That's true.
So
Yeah, and color them up and everything.
and then if I did like an RPG book based on the book, I could take the art from the book and then use it.
Oh yeah, reutilize
Yeah.
it for sure.
So yeah. No, but I think whoever made Grimgar's anime really good, I think they should probably be like, their talent should be used to make a better fantasy thing.
That's what I would
stronger.
say.
Yeah.
Because they were able to recognize all of the interesting parts of the source material and capitalize on them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to see what they'd be able to do if they could just do their own stuff.
Yeah, I feel like they would have to take a lot of liberties to make the booklet going forward better, because I skipped very far into the series because I figured maybe in the beginning the guy's writing ability wasn't that good. I skipped pretty deep in, and the writing was like...
It's still about the same level.
Yeah, because I guess like that's part of it, is that you want it to be something simple that someone could read while they're on the train, maybe? Something like that. They're on public transport and they just want to like read something, so they're reading the light novel, and so it's like easy to follow what's going on.
It's very digestible,
without like getting super immersed. I don't know. And then you don't want to have pictures so that people don't think like, oh, what are you, a nerd reading comic books over there? So.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I'll remind everybody again about... British Star Comics.net, yay! Searchers for pre-order, Sonic City Witch for pre-order, merchandise. We 3D printed these.
Maybe at some point we'll put these on the...
Yeah, guys, do you want the drill fidget to be up on the website? We can put these up there too. Does the scraping sound awful on the microphone, by the way, guys?
It sounds very satisfying from where I am, but... Yeah. Adam Snyder is doing an animated Norse
Sorry. Sorry.
mythology animated series, Twilight of the Gods. With
Twilight of the Gods.
I mean, I assume so.
Well, he corrected himself earlier.
Okay. With J. Olivia, director, second part, Dark Knight Returns, 12-inch animated?
Animated film director.
Okay.
Nice stuff.
I don't know who Snyder is.
Zack Snyder? Okay. When submitting a comic to Burning Star, what DPI should be used? Well, like, printing the DPI should be fairly high. Bare minimum of 300 for printing, but for just submitting it, you can have it, like, be much lower resolution, just so long as I can read it. 'Cause, you know, files get big depending on the amount of dots per inch. So, yeah.
Norse mythology sounds cool though, because you could for sure do some cool stuff with Norse mythology.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to pull from.
Like, spoiler, Thor dies, or Thor will die, is like, because they have a future tense story, like their apocalypse story has like the different gods dying in different ways, and Thor dies from getting poisoned, or like acid or something from Jormungandr, the big snake, and he takes, was it 9 steps backwards, like one for each of the 9 realms, and then falls off the edge of existence into space and just dies. And so like just actually animating a giant Thor taking like a step back and like into like Alfheim with all the elves, and like Muspelheim and Jotunheim, and then he's just dead.
Yeah, that would be really interesting.
Falling into the center of the galaxy or something.
Oh, Twilight of the Gods was released on Netflix about a week ago. Interesting.
It was on Netflix.
Oh no, who'd they fuck in the ass this time?
Thor's not getting bitten by a snake. He's
Oh man.
He's gonna be getting P Diddy'd until
Oh god. For those of you who don't know what we're referencing, apparently in the Castlevania show, we were informed that Alucard gets raped by a man.
Until he's gay.
Until he's gay, yes. And, that's not the direction we would have went with that. But we're not the writers, so.
I looked it up to like see if it was true.
Real, or if they
And then
were
there was
just
like
messing with
there was
us.
an article by like some godforsaken website and the keywords I saw was missionary position and bold and powerful or something, and I was like, oh god, no, it is true.
Oh man.
It's just like, yeah.
I was thinking digital comics, a higher DPI would be needed since readers would... Yeah, but for just like a submission, just for me to read it doesn't matter as much, just for me to get the files. For the official version that we would upload on the website or print, that is a different story.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I thought everybody already knew about Castlevania. Yeah, don't watch it. It's
so glad I didn't watch any more Netflix Castlevania garbage. I'm a huge fan of the games.
And
you gotta be kidding me.
And the games are so big. Like, Castlevania is a huge franchise. I personally never like played through all the
god, it was a brother and sister? We got incest in there too?
They're Asian? That happened. Anyway, yeah, no, Castlevania's huge. Imagine if they like fucked Link in the ass until he was gay. Like, Castlevania, it was like a huge grossing series. What if they just like fucked Mario in the ass? Like, it's a huge series.
It's such a power play to like get the rights to write a character
and then rape the main character.
And then rape the main character, yeah. Like, you gotta be some psycho
and then
to do that.
You go tell like BuzzFeed or whatever, and you're like, listen, say it was bold and powerful how I
tell me how great of a writer I am, or else.
Oh, dude.
That's some crazy shit right there. But yeah, her Twilight of the Gods is quite good. Surprisingly, it has a 7.4 out of 10.
Oh, damn. The guy who did the Castlevania thing is gonna do the Devil May Cry thing.
Are they gonna fuck him in the ass till he's gay? Who's gonna get fucked in the... It's gotta be Dante who gets fucked in the ass, right?
God, it's such a... What?
They already called him a gay cowboy once before, right?
That's the funniest thing. If you guys aren't familiar, there was a really cringy reboot of Devil May Cry called just like DMC, and the main character, people call him Dante instead of Dante.
Dante.
He I don't know how to explain how cringy he was, but
I mean, there's a good clip that explains how cringy he was.
Yeah, like, there's so many...
Should I show them the fuck you clip? What would I even type in?
The club mission, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like the Lilith Club mission, so like... club entry full cutscene, that's what we're looking for.
Hang on. Guys, you're gonna enjoy this. Let me just, do I have to stop the screen to put on a new one? I guess so. Alright. You see this alright?
So, to preface this, the people who worked on this thought that the original way that Dante was depicted was not cool. It was...
They had to make him real
They had to
cool.
make him real cool, and the cool that he was before was like gay cowboy cool, is how they called it. And they're gonna
fake cool.
They're gonna show you what is authentically cool, and that is what we're gonna see in this cutscene. I don't think there's any like backstory. Oh, it's the... It's like it's sad. But no, I think...
Hey,
This is the second part.
Dante!
Where's the first part?
Lilith Club mission?
Do you think? But will they show the cutscene though?
I don't know.
We need to show them this
Well, just
now.
if it's like 17 minutes, I assume it has the intro yet.
This is it?
Yeah, probably.
There it is. Mandus' mistress, Lilith, runs an exclusive.
Whoa,
She'll be there tonight.
you're not coming in. You're not on the list.
Catches the marker.
So cool.
I am now.
Look at how cool he is. he wrote "fuck you" on the list.
So I think that's like the funniest cutscene, but they have cutscenes that are like just they're so cringy.
It's like the one where he's like yelling back and forth with the
Oh, yeah.
demon. Fuck
that's
you,
so
fuck
bad.
you, back and
That's
forth.
so bad. Oh my god. I played that alone and I was embarrassed.
My toes curled.
I know.
Was like,
I know. That one
It's just like cursing for the sake of cursing.
yeah. Yeah, he's just yelling "fuck you," and then the monster is yelling "fuck you," and then they keep on doing that for like just so uncomfortable. It's just so middle school. It's like, oh man, go back to the gay cowboy, dude. Like, this is bad.
Yeah. Although I guess we didn't finish the original Devil May Cry, right?
No, we didn't.
We did get
I liked that boss. Like I liked how the boss just it was very basic,
I think
but I liked
if
it.
we play that next time on the Game Fans, we'll probably switch controller, so that I do like the running around and then you just do the bosses.
Because I just don't.
Because I think you enjoyed the boss.
I
a
like
lot
boss
more.
fights. I don't really like exploring areas.
Yeah, I like exploring areas. So
I'm not much of a dungeon crawler. I just like. I like to explore in the open world, but then like having to be locked into like a level and explore that, and then if you don't explore it perfectly, you'll miss out on XYZ. It's like just fucking.
Oh, you're looking forward to Netflix DNC. Well, is there any news out about it, or is it just like...
That's such a mistake.
Well, I mean, is there any, like, reason for hope, or...
No, the guy who fucked Alucard in the ass until he was gay is doing the show.
To be fair...
Like, what are we talking about? Like...
To be fair, it only takes, like, one weirdo writer to, like, mess up an entire series, right? And there's, like, multiple people
that guy
working
put his
on a
name
show.
on it. He was like, yeah, I think I could... Yeah, I'm gonna stamp my name on something where they raped the beloved protagonist of a multi-billion-dollar franchise.
Oh, okay. A trailer came out for it not too long ago. It doesn't look bad.
Yeah, you've been tricked. I am.
No, I remember. There are a lot of stuff out there. They try to make the trailer look good. Keep in mind, they try to make it look like, oh, this is for you fans.
Mm-hmm.
And then you watch it and you're like, oh, but it's bad though.
Yeah.
Like the new Avatar adaptation. It's not good. I mean, it looked visually much better than the original movie, but TV show wasn't good. Just kind of how it goes, you know?
Yeah, like the people who are doing shows for Netflix, I think they want to make it bad. Like they want to upset
Not all
you.
the time, but sometimes you get really spiteful
Yeah,
people that get hired for these positions that are like, I'm going to fix the like bigoted IP and I'm gonna make it not bigoted anymore.
Whenever you have a publisher,
those people always ruin it.
You typically have like a narrative direction that the publisher is going to take something in, and when the narrative direction is, let's see if we can make the audience like
Really angry.
really mad,
Yeah.
and
Ugh, I hate it.
see how many characters we can fuck in the ass till they're gay. It's like it's very obvious it's going to be bad. Like it's very obvious everything they put out you should assume is going to be bad. Like they're not just making stuff to make it good. They're not even like making stuff to make money. They're making stuff to like bother you. So it's like,
Yeah.
just don't. I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of I have plenty of Devil May Cry games to play, so no reason for me to watch the. I have plenty of Devil May Cry content that I have not even touched.
That's fair.
Plus, there's like an anime which was. I watched like the first episode. It was kind of funny.
Sure. That's fine.
They did
but
my
yeah,
boy Richter dirty, Hector too. Oh God.
Oh God. Yeah, I honestly, I can't say that I have much faith in anything Netflix puts out. Not to say that they can't put out good stuff or that it's impossible. It's just that somebody else needs to be in full control of the show. Like, it needs to be very separate from Netflix in order for it to turn out good. It's like a lot of the anime that they, like, fund, but they don't have a direct influence over, turns out to be okay.
Yeah, I mean, but also the anime that they're like scooping up and like.
Yeah, they do tend to pick and choose
like that,
certain.
That romance thing that you put on was just like. Like where it's like, she's like she's forced to marry the mean guy or whatever.
Oh yeah.
It's like they're
I
picking.
almost forgot about that. That was a webtoon or something.
Yeah, like but they're picking that to turn into an anime because it's like anti-family and like anti-marriage and like it's just
it fits with their rebellious politics.
Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know.
But yeah, so I don't really have a lot of faith with Netflix type stuff.
Because if you know the intention of the person making the stuff is to like just degrade your mentality, and you're like, oh, it's not that bad. It's like, that's really bad. That means that
it's working.
That means that it didn't repel you and like strengthen your convictions. That means that it's corrupting you. Like it has infected you and is slowly going to bring down your mood over the next couple days. It's like, oh man, you know, like there's just something not good for you about like, that's my favorite hero from my favorite video game. Oh no! Oh no!
Missionary style.
How do the biomechanics even work? How is it? But like, there's obviously something like unhealthy about that. Like, you've got to go pick up a heavy box later, and like you've just witnessed your favorite hero from your favorite show be violated. Like, is that good for you? Probably not. Like, when you're working out, does that like drive you through your workout? Like, no, it's not like. It's just not good for you.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to what I've said on the channel about how people, you know, everybody talks about keeping a healthy diet. Not a lot of people talk about keeping a healthy mental diet.
Yeah.
To make sure that what you're taking in is not always like doom or gloom or is going to put you in a sour mood, but you're also like watching uplifting and motivating stuff and stuff to aspire to be, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't usually see a whole lot of material out there that fits that criteria, which is a shame. I mean, granted, you know, there's plenty of wholesome manga, but you do have to do some digging to find.
Yeah, I gotta watch like Lord of the Rings or something.
Yeah, right. You gotta watch some older stuff. Back when everyone wasn't always constantly trying to be edgy and rape your characters in the ass.
Yeah, or like little shop around the corner or something.
Oh yeah, the original movie was very good, and then the You Got Mail version is horrific. Horrific.
I asked my parents for a recommendation of like a romance movie to watch with Trisha. And they're like, oh, You Got Mail is great. And then I put on You Got Mail, and I was like, yeah, they really like this movie. They like rewatch it a lot. The movie opens with the two characters.
They're cheating.
Yeah, they're cheating on each other.
Cheating.
And they're like, the statement that does not age well is like, can you even cheat over the internet? And it's like, what? Yeah. Yes. What?
Is it really considered cheating if I'm texting him?
And then they're like, I remember the girl, the woman and her husband that she's cheating on. He's like, they both secretly wanted to get out of the marriage, and so it's like this happy moment when they're like, oh my god, you're You're unhappy? Me too. Wee woo. It's like, oh man, that's like such a romanticized version of like divorce. I don't think that usually happens.
Yeah.
And I went to my parents. I was like, what the fuck was that?
Why did you recommend this? But they're not even the only ones who think that for some reason that's a good romance movie. And like, it bothers me to see like so many awful romance movies get so much popularity.
And then they set it up like there's gonna be a twist, but there was no twist. The love interest, the guy, he bankrupts her business.
Oh yeah, he puts her mother's business under, and she has to close down.
There's no twist.
Because he has a competing book business.
Unless there's
reason.
like an extended cut somewhere.
There is no little shop around the corner anymore. He destroyed that shop.
He destroys he destroys her mother's shop.
Why?
She has this dramatic scene where she can like see the memory of her mother like in the
She's crying as she's leaving.
And then she turns the light off. And she's gone. And then she
Why
leaves.
would you write it that
and
way?
it's like, wait, but he's like a millionaire. Couldn't he just like prop up the shop to like be a bakery instead?
It
Like,
should have ended
what?
with him buying back the shop and like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But that's not what they did. It's just out of business.
Yeah, they just.
And then she fucks him. Why would you fuck this man? He destroyed your business.
What an alpha move. She's like,
He's just negging her.
she's like, she's like, I would never love a big businessman. It's like, oh yeah, bitch, let me destroy your mama's business. What do you think now?
It's awful. I'm not even lying or misremembering. No, that's just actually what happened.
was
And
no-
then they called it a romance movie.
There was no twist, but
There's no twist.
they end up together. But it was like, what
about the business?
What about her whole life?
Oh, God.
The Tom Hanks movie, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom
The
Hanks.
original movie, which was also based off of like a novel, was it? Or was it a play?
It's a novel, I think, originally.
Yeah, the original movie, Little Shop Around the Corner. Look for the black and white movie. Watch that version.
Yeah.
That's the good version.
That was super wholesome. And like it has like a masculine man as like the guy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? He's like a I don't know. He's like
Nobody's business goes out of business.
yeah.
They're just like successful and happy. And then the one guy, there is a character who is cheating in the original movie, and he gets decked the fuck out because he's a bad guy. And then they try to romanticize cheating in the remake. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Fucking unbelievable.
They really like chew that guy out. Like it was pretty pretty good.
satisfying.
He's like he's like quitting the store or whatever, and he's like, I want a recommendation. He's like, oh yeah, get a pen and paper. This guy's a no good low life. Like he's like, write this down. It's like, oh man. But yeah, no, it was
Yeah.
yeah, it was
Back when cheating was seen as a bad thing.
yeah, and it was also like seen as an effeminate thing, which
Yeah,
I think is
that's
like
true.
more accurate. Like the people I've known in my life that have been like real scumbags like that have always been like very, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I see that. My mom has the DVD. I can't believe it. Go watch it.
Yeah,
Just see for yourself.
just
Compare
alpha-
both versions.
just alpha shit. Oh, the DVD for Little Shop Around the Corner, awesome.
I don't know if
probably
he
not,
means
though.
Little Shop Around the
It's
Corner
probably
or the
it's probably You Got Mail.
You Got Mail is the bad one, yeah.
Just absolute. It's just the most. They play like happy music over it, but it's like the most degenerate, like fucked up movie. Like, it's like.
There's also like a lot of people pretend like The Notebook is a good movie. It's just because like the ending is kind of sad, but like the relationship is super fucked.
At least it's
Throughout
not.
the whole movie, the relationship is just like, whoa, you two should not be together at all. This is too much.
I don't think it's as toxic as You Got Mail.
Well,
though.
it's abusive. They like actually hit each other.
Yeah, but
But then
I
again,
don't
you know,
remember that.
mother's business.
I I don't remember them hitting each other.
Yeah, I remember they like were showing it in like a montage of them being on again, off again, and during like one of their arguments, she like smacks him across the face, and I'm like, whoa.
Oh, so like woman on man violence is like, you know, pretty. People are just pretty tacitly okay with that.
It's
Although like, not. Yeah, I don't know. Not so much in like real life, but like in fiction, people are typically pretty okay with it.
Unfortunately, it's the former. You should tell your mom about. You should just ask your mom, like, hey, so you like the romance where he destroys her small business and then fucks her? You like that?
It just dominates the shit out of her. It's like, oh yeah, your
God.
mom started this business? Oh, it'd be a real shame if I opened a 10-story tall Borders books and fucking destroyed your mom's business.
The ending credits are just like a wrecking ball on the shop.
It's like, oh, you know what I'm gonna do with your business now that it's out of business? I'm just gonna take a fat shit in it. I'm not gonna do nothing with it.
Yeah, it's awful.
Smoke cigar.
Sounds like
puts
you
on
are
monocle.
a big fan of James Cameron's Titanic. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't really remember Titanic that much. It's another one of those things where people just like it because it's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I've watched the movie before, obviously, but it strikes me as a movie I should never watch again because it's just so depressing. Remember what I said about the mental health diet? You know, it's like, whoa, a little bit too much. You know, maybe I don't need to see this many people dying all at once.
You Got Mail with Hanks and Meg Ryan. I don't know who Meg Ryan is, but Tom Hanks I recognize. Yeah, that was the guy. He was like the Monopoly man destroying her.
Destroying her family business.
Her family's legacy.
I missed it. It's that bad. Oh, yeah. It's bad. It's not a good romance movie.
No, but they play happy music.
Yeah, they played happy music at the end after he destroyed her business.
It's like if you want to watch it with like a significant other and be like, "Whoa, at least we're not that bad." Like,
yeah, right. Oh my goodness. Now I have to watch it just to laugh at it. I kept on like thinking, okay, so now they're gonna do something where they make these two characters bond with each other. Any moment now, any second now, we're gonna see something really romantic.
they have like chemistry, right?
Well, when they first meet each other, they hate each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
They like their internet personas better than their real life selves.
Yeah.
And it's something that they just do so much better in the original movie. But
Yeah.
and they spend like most of the movie just hating each other. And then they like warm up to each other a little bit, but it's like not really super romantic. And then at the end she's just like crying like, I was hoping it was you. It's like, what? He just destroyed your family business. You should be crying over that. Like, the way that they wrap up the movie just makes no sense whatsoever for them to end up together. Not that the acting is bad. It legitimately just is the writing. The writing is terrible.
Yeah,
they had no idea what they were doing.
But again, like, if you're a real smooth brain, they play happy music over all the sad things.
And they have a bright sun, and you get to see a cute dog.
There is a cute dog. That's right.
Yeah. And they're like, yes, this is happy. You should clap.
There's another movie with a similar concept with, I could swear there's another, with, the genie. Oh, God. What the hell is his name? Robin Williams. I think there's a similar concept with Robin Williams that they just run with that, like, internet friend thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what it was called. But...
I don't know if I've seen it. I'm sure someone in chat probably knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, that one, I don't remember much of it. I remember seeing like bits and pieces of it. It was one of those movies that was always being replayed on TV. It's like the amount of I think I've only ever seen Rambo. No, you know what? I don't think I've ever seen Rambo. I've seen obviously every part of Rambo, but never in order. But it's like my dad always had like AMC on or Sci-Fi. He would go back and forth between the two. So I've seen like every part of Rambo. I'm sure. Same thing with like Alien, or not Alien, with Predator. Yeah.
Oh, you've seen all the Predator movies.
No, just the classic one with Arnold Schwarzenegger. They're like in the jungle. So I had seen all the parts of it before I actually watched the movie. But I think we might have watched Predator all the way through, like in one contiguous shot.
Predator is a good movie. Definitely, for sure. Something is Killing the Children. Awesome books. Yeah, gotcha. But yeah, so I guess the hour is up. I should probably go check on our resin experiments.
Ooh.
I'm not revealing what they are yet,
Yes,
so being secretive.
Yes.
I guess, do you think we'll stream tonight?
Maybe. Sure.
So maybe if you subscribe to the Game Fans channel, you can watch us stream a game. I don't know what we'll stream. We could stream like Crusader games or Crusader Kings or Messianic or.
I think I'd like to do, unless you want to play Sonic. I think I'd like to do a run of Crusader Kings.
If you want to do a run, we'll do a run.
Maybe Mana Marco.
Sure. Get back to our Mana Marco playthrough. That sounds fun. All right. So thanks for joining us for the Chitty Chatty Friday with Dannphan and Adam. Hey. We'll see you maybe later on the Game Fans channel.
Yeah, and take care of your mental diets. Go watch Little Shop Around the Corner.
Yeah, watch better romance
or
movies.
Lord of the Rings if you want something to like invigorate you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.